Ashley, I am Kirsten Crow, and I decided to do my project on the power of words. And so to get started, I'm going to tell you a little story that's kind of amusing and kind of inspired this project. So I remember one day we were sitting down at dinner, and we were just having this normal conversation, and I looked at my brother, and we were talking about just life and how school was going, and I happened to say that words are the most powerful weapon that you could have. And he looks at me and he gives me this look and he goes, "But sis, haven't you ever seen a machete?" And I just had to laugh because in his mind, he didn't understand it. And in a 10-year-old's mind, he didn't understand exactly how powerful words were. But me, being experienced, kind of understood that more. So I was inspired through that, having a 10-year-old little brother, and then working in a 5th grade classroom for the last 6 months, that words affect kids more than they even realize, and the words that they say are affecting them more than they even realize, but they don't understand that because they haven't fully understood how powerful their words are. So, the issue that I wanted to look at when dealing with my senior project was bullying, because bullying is everywhere. It's in every single school, every single town, every single state, every single country. It doesn't go away, and unfortunately, it's not going to go away anytime soon. So when I looked at my issue, I did a lot of research, and I noticed and found that reported 33% of elementary age kids, which is ages K through 6, report getting bullied on a daily basis. And that absolutely broke my heart to know that these kids between the ages of 5 and 11 to 12 are reportedly getting bullied every single day. And so I went some research into exactly what does it mean to be bullied? Because I know that sometimes kids, when they say they're getting bullied, it's really because some kid stole their crayons and they want it back. But out of this 33% of kids that reported being bullied on a daily basis, said that they were being bullied because of their weight, because of their gender, or because of their race. And let me tell you, that broke my heart once more, because these are factors that these kids absolutely cannot control, and yet they're being bullied because of it. So this was the issue that I wanted to look at and tackle through my senior project. So I found that early childhood bullying does more than I really thought. I know that growing up, it affected me a lot, but you really just think like, oh, they're getting bullied, like they're just going to deal with it. They're going to grow tough skin and everything's going to be okay. But it is a proven statistic that kids who are bullied in early childhood develop severe anxiety, depression, and maladjustment, which is the ability to cope to society standards. And so I found out that it was really affecting these kids more than they even knew. And honestly, it didn't get put into perspective to me until I think it was like the 3rd week that I was in my 5th grade classroom. And sorry, I'm going to tell a lot of stories because it kind of hits home and it kind of really puts my project into perspective. But I was in my classroom for only the 3rd week, and I had a little girl that came up to me, and she was just absolutely in tears, just tears streaming down her face. And I looked at her and I said, "Hannah, what's wrong?" And she looked at me and she said, "The little boys just asked me if I was pregnant because I'm bigger than everyone else." And that's a 10-year-old little girl, and that really affected me. And I saw how that was affecting other kids, so I realized that I wanted to do something about it. And so my short-term goals was I just wanted to bring awareness to my 5th graders about how they were really affecting people. And so I decided that for right now, even though that I probably am not going to change our school district for years to come, right this very second, I thought that if I could at least bring awareness to my 5th graders and help them to realize just exactly how powerful their words are, it would make their year and the rest of their year a better place. And maybe it would start a domino effect that would make these kids kinder. So that was my hopes with that. My long-term goals was I was hoping that with these kids, through the domino effect, would show this to other people and show how their words affect people and try to stop bullying and be kinder, so that our schools would become better in the future and that kids would learn to feel more safe and be kind. And so although that kind of seems like a stretch, I really felt like it was something that I was capable of, because I know that when I talked to these kids, they loved it and they soaked it in so much that I really think that it's something that they're going to take with them for a long time. So I have this video here. And so what I did for my actual project itself was I first had like this talk with them, and I shared them my story of bullying, and I shared with them how when I was little I got bullied a lot because I was slightly bigger than everyone because I was a girl and because I had to wear skirts every day and all this other stuff. So I kind of shared with them my story. Then we had this talk about who had gotten bullied, and these kids started to open up to me and they started to share their story about how they had been bullied and how these mean things that people said. So I kind of broke it down. I was like, guys, how does this make you feel? When these kids are treating you this way and when these kids are talking to you, how does it make you feel? And every single one of them, they were like, it makes me feel sad, it makes me feel worthless, it makes me feel like no one cares about me. So what I did is they had these pre-made pieces of paper with their names already on them. And every single kid had to go around and write something nice, something that they liked, something to lift every single person up. So this is them doing it themselves. So I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I first started this project with them, I wasn't sure how it was going to go over. I was kind of nervous. I was presenting it to them and I was like, these kids are going to think that this is lame. They're going to think that this is stupid. I knew that I was going to have some kids that were going to be like, I don't have anything nice to say about this person, because that's how they were. So I was kind of nervous to do this. But watching their faces and watching them light up and watching them smile and get so excited made it also worth it. And so at the end, I took all their papers so they couldn't read them at first. And they were getting so upset at me. They were like, Miss Kirsten, give me my paper. Like, I want to see what everyone wrote. And when I handed it back to them, to watch the smile on each of their faces and how excited they got to read what their classmates had to say about them, it was so worth it. And they finally realized after reading that how important it was to be kind to other people. And so what they did after that for me actually was, okay, no, that's not good. So this is our little talk afterwards that we had about it.
After you had a chance to read it through all, can some people tell me how it made them feel to read these nice things about themselves? So, Maddie, I'll start with you. How did it make you feel to read these nice things to your classmates about you? Happy. Happy. Hannah.
Okay, so a lot of them were a little shy on video saying it because they knew that my teacher was videoing them. But I had multiple people come up to me afterwards and give me a big hug and thank me for doing that. And they would look at me and they would say, I honestly had no idea that my classmates felt this way about me. So they were like, it makes me feel really good to know that these people around me that I didn't even know liked me have nice things to say about me. And they said, I realize how important it is now for me to go out of my way each and every day to say something nice about others. So I did follow-up questions with a few of my students. I ended up asking all of them this, but I just picked a few of them, obviously at a certain time, and these are like some of my favorite ones. So here's Summer.
It made me feel really good because someone taught me like that.
This was Maddie.
This made me feel happy and as Yami had said, it makes me happy knowing that people need this for her.
This is Hannah.
This made me feel like really happy inside and that I know that they feel that way about me.
So like I said, a lot of them were just super excited to know. They actually made me my own afterwards. I went home that night and the next day I came into my classroom and my fifth graders had actually made me my own positive words thing. And so at first I wasn't sure if my senior project was going to do anything. Like I had this great idea, I was super excited about it, I had this passion for these kids, but I wasn't sure if I was going to do anything. I honestly, it's with any project that you start. You have good intentions, but sometimes it doesn't always go over the way that you should think it is going to. But I think with my fifth graders, it actually did good. I've noticed actually, they do this thing now. Every morning when they come into their classroom, they go around and they say nice things about each other because they want to make sure now they understand how important it is to be nice. And I kind of brought awareness to them that now they're so excited to compliment each other. And I've seen kids, since I've done this a few weeks ago, that necessarily wouldn't have ever even talked to each other, or like coming up to each other and complimenting them and telling them how nice they look today or how happy they are to have met them. And so even though that it was like a small scale thing, I didn't try to like be Gandhi and completely change the world in like my week project, but I really do think that at least with my 4 fifth grade classrooms that I work with, that I really did affect their lives and impact their lives more than I really thought that I would. And so I noticed too that as I changed fifth grade classrooms when I was doing this project, my project began to go smoother. My project began to run better. So when I did it with the first class, they kind of had trouble doing it. My transitions weren't smooth. My kids didn't necessarily understand it, but as I went on and did it more, they started to understand. I was able to explain myself better. I was able to express my ideas better, and so I think all around it got better. And so I was super excited about that, and I was super excited to see how excited they all were. So that was my senior project. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you.